Welcome back to our channel World of Coins, the place where we uncover hidden treasures in your coin collection. Have you ever wondered if that old coins could be worth thousands or even millions? Well, today's your lucky day. We're diving into some of the rarest and most valuable US coins that might be sitting right under your nose. Let's jump in and see if you've got a fortune waiting to be discovered. Top 1. In the vast world of US coin collecting, there are few things more thrilling than discovering that a small, ordinary-looking coin could actually be a treasure worth a fortune. Today, we take you deep into the history and mystique of a humble piece of copper that most people overlook, yet collectors and numismatists worldwide are constantly on the hunt for it. We're talking about the 1968 Lincoln 1-cent penny, a coin that may be sitting quietly in your pocket change or hidden away in an old jar on a forgotten shelf, completely unaware of the astonishing value it could hold. The 1968 Lincoln cent is part of a long-running and beloved series that began in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, this penny features Lincoln's iconic profile on the obverse, a familiar and timeless image in American coinage. The reverse side, at the time, still carried the image of the Lincoln Memorial, a symbol of unity and a tribute to one of the nation's most revered leaders. But while millions of these coins were struck and circulated, only a few special specimens from 1968 stand out from the rest, thanks to rare mint errors, remarkable condition, and exceptional provenance. So what makes some of these 1968 Lincoln cents so desirable? For starters, some were struck in San Francisco with the S mint mark, which already draws the attention of serious collectors. But even more significant are the varieties with double die obverse, a rare and fascinating minting error where the coin's design elements, such as the date or the lettering, "In God We Trust," appear noticeably doubled due to a misalignment in the die. These errors are not only rare but also visually striking, and collectors pay top dollar for such anomalies. On top of that, coins that have been preserved in flawless, uncirculated condition for over 5 decades are even more scarce. Such coins are graded by professional grading services, and those achieving top grades like MS-67 or higher are incredibly valuable. Another important factor is the historical context in which this penny was minted. The year 1968 was a turbulent time in America, marked by political upheaval, cultural transformation, and social unrest. Coins from this era carry with them a piece of that history. Owning one is like holding a fragment of the past in your hands, a time capsule from a nation on the brink of change. It's not just about metal and markings, it's about stories, legacy, and the preservation of a pivotal moment in American history, when a 1968 Lincoln penny with the right combination of rarity, condition, and historical intrigue hits the auction block. It can cause quite a stir. Bidding wars erupt, collectors pull out all the stops, and prices can soar to jaw-dropping heights. It's not unheard of for an ordinary-looking penny to be appraised for amounts most people would never associate with such a small coin. One such example recently shook the coin world when a pristine, error variant 1968 Lincoln penny sold for an astounding $145,000. Top 2. In the world of coin collecting, there are countless hidden gems waiting to be discovered, but few captivate the imagination quite like the Lincoln 1-cent penny from 1971. At first glance, it may seem like just another old coin, a common piece of pocket change that's passed from hand to hand for decades. But the truth is, this unassuming cent could be one of the most valuable coins ever tucked away in a drawer or lost in the cushions of a couch. The 1971 Lincoln penny, minted during a time of great transition and change in the United States, holds a special place in the hearts of collectors, and when the right conditions are met, it can command an absolutely staggering price at auction. The story of the Lincoln cent begins in 1909. When it was introduced to commemorate the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln. Designed by the talented Victor David Brenner, it marked the first time a real historical figure, rather than a symbolic image, appeared on a regular U.S. coin. By 1971, this tradition was still going strong, with Lincoln's solemn profile gracing the obverse, and the Lincoln Memorial proudly displayed on the reverse. While hundreds of millions of these coins were struck that year, a select few have risen above the rest, becoming sought-after treasures in the numismatic world. So what makes a 1971 Lincoln penny so incredibly valuable? The answer lies in a rare combination of minting errors, preservation quality, and collector demand. For instance, some pennies from this year were struck with a double die on the obverse, meaning the letters and numbers appear with noticeable doubling due to a misalignment during the striking process. This kind of error can turn an everyday coin into a collector's dream. Even more valuable are those rare examples that were never circulated, remaining in mint condition for over 5 decades. Coins like this are graded by professional organizations such as PCGS or NGC, and when they receive high grades like MS67 or MS68, their value skyrockets. Additionally, there's the historical backdrop to consider. The year 1971 was a turning point in American history. The Vietnam War raged on, social movements gained momentum, and the nation found itself grappling with political and cultural shifts that would shape its future. Holding on to a penny from this period feels like holding on to a piece of that complex and transformative era. It's more than metal, it's memory. And when a coin combines that historical resonance with visual perfection and extreme rarity, it becomes something truly special. For those who love the thrill of the hunt, the 1971 penny serves as a reminder that treasure doesn't always come in the form of gold bars or gemstones. Sometimes, it's the smallest, most overlooked object that holds the most incredible value. Many collectors spend years scouring flea markets, estate sales, and old coin jars just hoping to come across one of these legendary finds. And when one does surface, especially one with a verified mint error and a pristine grade, the buzz in the collecting community is electric. One such example of the 1971 Lincoln penny recently sent shockwaves through the coin collecting world when it went under the hammer at a major auction. Thanks to its near-flawless condition and a remarkable doubling error, this particular coin was fiercely contested by multiple bidders. In the end, it was sold for an astonishing $125,000. Top 3. If you're someone who loves coins, history, or simply the thrill of discovering hidden treasures, then what I'm about to tell you might just blow your mind. Today, we're going to dive deep into one of the most fascinating pieces of American coinage history, the 1970 Lincoln 1-cent penny. At first glance, this humble copper-colored coin may not seem like much. It's small, it's simple, and millions were made. But like many things in life, there's far more to it than meets the eye. Some of these 1970 Lincoln cents are worth far more than their face value, and I mean far more. We're not talking a few dollars, or even a few $100s. We're talking about a coin that has stunned collectors and investors alike with a price tag that has soared into the six-figure range. So what makes this particular penny from 1970 so valuable? Well, let's start with a bit of background. The Lincoln cent, first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, is the longest-running design in U.S. coin history. By 1970, the Lincoln penny had been in circulation for over 60 years, but something unusual happened that year that made some of these coins very special. You see, in the world of coin collecting, rarity and condition are everything. And in 1970, due to a unique combination of minting errors, low mintage numbers, and striking anomalies, some Lincoln pennies became the stuff of numismatic legend. One of the most famous versions of the 1970 penny is the small date variety minted in San Francisco, known among collectors as the 1970 small date Lincoln cent. What makes it stand out is not just the date size on the obverse, but also the sharpness of its strike and the errors that occurred during the minting process. Some examples feature a double die, a mistake where the coin was struck more than once with a slight misalignment, creating a distinct doubling effect on the date or letters. These double-die varieties are incredibly sought after, and their values can skyrocket at auction, especially when the coin is preserved in pristine, uncirculated condition. We're talking about near-perfect grading, with flawless surfaces, luster, and sharp details. These coins are graded by professional services and assigned numerical scores. Anything graded above 65 on the Sheldon scale is considered investment-worthy, but it doesn't end there. Some 1970 Lincoln pennies have been found with dramatic off-center strikes, die cracks, or even struck on the wrong planchet. That's the blank metal disc that becomes the coin. These kinds of minting errors, when authenticated, are pure gold in the eyes of collectors. Their rarity, combined with the sheer uniqueness of each error, makes them incredibly valuable. In addition to the errors and variations, the market demand also plays a key role in determining a coin's worth. With more and more collectors entering the hobby, especially younger generations rediscovering the thrill of coin collecting, the demand for high-grade and rare error coins has surged. Now here's where things get really exciting. A particular 1970 Lincoln 1-cent penny, due to its rarity, flawless condition, and striking anomalies, was sold to an eager collector for an astonishing amount of money. This one small coin, originally worth just a single cent, ended up commanding a jaw-dropping price of $130,000. Yes, you heard that right, $130,000 for a penny. So the next time you find a handful of change in your pocket or dig into that old coin jar that's been collecting dust, don't overlook those tiny copper coins. You never know, one of them might just change your life. Top 4. In a world where we often overlook the smallest things, imagine if something as simple and ordinary as a penny could turn out to be worth a small fortune. Today, we dive deep into a remarkable coin that may be hiding right in plain sight, one that has transformed from pocket change into a prized collector's treasure. This isn't just any penny, we're talking about the 1973 Lincoln 1-cent coin from the United States of America. To most people, it's just a copper coin bearing the iconic profile of Abraham Lincoln on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. But beneath its modest appearance lies an incredible story of rarity, mystery, and value that has captured the attention of collectors and enthusiasts across the country. The 1973 Lincoln penny might seem like an ordinary piece of currency, but within the world of numismatics, the study and collection of coins, it holds a surprising allure. By 1973, the Lincoln cent had already become a symbol of consistency and American heritage, having been in circulation since 1909. However, that year produced certain pennies that stood out from the millions minted. These weren't your everyday coins. Some were struck with minute yet significant errors, such as double dies, off-center strikes, and even coins mistakenly minted on planchets intended for foreign currency or other U.S. denominations. These minting anomalies created incredibly rare versions of the 1973 Lincoln penny, each with their own story and individual quirks. And in the world of rare coins, uniqueness often translates into tremendous value. Beyond the minting mistakes, condition plays a critical role in determining a coin's worth. Coins that have never been circulated, those with brilliant uncirculated luster and no signs of wear, are far more valuable than their worn-down counterparts. Collectors are constantly on the lookout for these pristine examples, especially ones that have been officially graded by trusted certification agencies like PCGS or NGC. A 1973 Lincoln penny with a high grade, especially above MS 65, can attract serious attention. Combine this with a rare error or variety, and you've got a coin that collectors are willing to pay handsomely for. Adding to the allure is the mystery of how these rare errors even came to exist. The U.S. Mint produces billions of coins annually, but every once in a while, a rare anomaly slips through quality control and enters circulation. These few rare coins become legendary, fueling speculation, research, and excitement within the coin community. It's a bit like finding a needle in a haystack, a lucky discovery that can turn an everyday coin into a museum-worthy artifact. Many people who have stumbled upon these rare coins had no idea they were holding something of such value. Imagine walking into a convenience store, handing over a penny from 1973, and unknowingly giving away what could have been your ticket to a small fortune. That's why it's important to take a second look at the coins you come across, especially those from earlier decades like the 1970s. You never know what could be hiding in your change jar, your drawers, or an old coin collection passed down through the generations. And now, for the part you've been waiting for, the stunning value of this exceptional coin. One particular 1973 Lincoln 1-cent penny, due to its flawless condition and the presence of a rare minting error, captured the attention of elite collectors and was eventually sold for an astonishing amount. This single penny, once worth merely a cent, became a prized possession and was purchased for an unbelievable $113,000. So the next time you see an old penny, don't be too quick to toss it aside. It just might be one of the most valuable coins you'll ever own. Top 5. There's something magical about the idea that a simple, everyday item can suddenly turn out to be a hidden treasure. Coins, especially older ones, have long fascinated collectors, historians, and even the casual observer because they hold a snapshot of history in the palm of your hand. And among the many coins that have passed through our hands over the years, one stands out today for its incredible story and staggering value, the 1981 Lincoln 1-cent penny from the United States of America. While it may appear no different from the billions of pennies minted that year, certain rare versions of this coin have captured the attention of numismatists for their unique features and astonishing worth. It's a coin that many might overlook at first glance, yet in the right condition and under the right circumstances, this seemingly ordinary penny has become the stuff of legend in the coin collecting world. To appreciate the significance of the 1981 Lincoln penny, we need to understand what made that year so special in the coin world. By 1981, the Lincoln cent had already been circulating for more than 7 decades. It bore the familiar image of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, a design by Victor David Brenner that first appeared in 1909. But 1981 marked the end of an era in one important way. It was the final full year the U.S. Mint struck Lincoln cents in the traditional copper alloy composition before switching to a copper-plated zinc core in mid-1982. That detail alone makes the 1981 penny notable, but there's more. Some pennies from this year were struck with sharply defined dies, showcasing excellent detail, while others featured subtle variations, such as different styles of lettering in the word Liberty or the mint mark D for Denver or S for San Francisco. In rare cases, errors occurred at the mint, double die strikes, off-center punches, or coins that were minted on the wrong metal planchets. These errors are what elevate certain 1981 pennies to an entirely new level of collectability. Collectors pay close attention to these tiny details. One of the most desirable traits is a flawless surface with no signs of circulation, what the coin world calls mint state condition. The higher the coin's grade, the higher its value. Some coins even receive special certifications from professional grading services, such as PCGS or NGC, confirming their superior condition and rarity. A coin graded MS67 or higher is extremely difficult to find, especially when it comes to older circulated denominations like the penny. When you factor in a rare mint error or an exceptional strike, the price can skyrocket. And that's exactly what happened with one extraordinary 1981 Lincoln penny. Stories like these aren't just interesting, they spark the imagination. Imagine searching through an old piggy bank, coin jar, or a dusty drawer and finding a coin that you thought was worth just a penny, only to discover it could pay off a car, a college tuition, or even buy a home. That's the thrill of coin collecting, the chase, the history, the surprise, and the reward. For many collectors, it's not just about the money, it's about the discovery, the connection to the past, and the appreciation of craftsmanship that goes into every tiny detail of the coin's design. The Lincoln penny is especially meaningful in this regard because it celebrates one of America's most iconic presidents and symbolizes the endurance of American ideals through generations of change. What's even more fascinating is how such value can be tied up in something so small and common. The penny is often ignored in everyday life. We toss it into tip jars, lose it between couch cushions, and sometimes even leave it on the ground. Yet, among these overlooked coins could lie a version so rare and so valuable that it could change someone's financial future. One special 1981 Lincoln 1-cent penny, because of its pristine condition, rarity, and an extremely scarce mint error, was sold for a price that few would ever imagine for a coin of this denomination. That single penny was valued and purchased for an astounding $95,000. So, next time you hold a penny in your hand, especially one from the early 1980s, take a closer look. It might not just be pocket change, it could be a hidden gem waiting to be discovered.